Now hand it over to Gibril, who will give some closing remarks.
Gosh, it's been a long 2 days. I think it was in the late 1960s that one of the deputies of Mao Zedong was asked what did he think about the French Revolution. And his answer was, it's too early to tell. And I'm supposed to sort of form a view as to what happened here. It's far, far too early to tell. And the support I was supposed to give Michelle, poor Michelle, was some sort of guidance as to what should we say to government tomorrow. And we've had a very brilliant report from the rapporteurs, so the details we all know about it. So I'm beginning to think that it is less the practicals, but more the strategy of the things that would sort of make a difference, as it were. I have noticed in this last discussion, because many years ago, one of my managers told me that you know you are on top of running things well if you are only doing important things, not urgent things. If you find yourself doing urgent things, that means you're not on top of it. And I've realized that we've heard from the feedback, there's a lot of urgent things around. So we're not totally on top of this issue. There's lots of urgency and a lot of important things. So there's a bit more way to go in terms of getting that sort of sweet point of balance. Third point I'd want to make, when we were briefing Sir Peter Sutherland earlier, he mentioned that one of the things he would talk about is, for example, using the ratification of the Domestic Workers Convention. And he used a phrase, he said, so that's the soft underbelly. It's a strategy. You look at the point of least resistance to enter. So I think that's the sort of guide to find this government's soft underbelly, as it were. It sounds quite dangerous. But we need to find it, and that might just help. The other thing is, in terms of getting this change, there is, beyond the arguments of what is important, what is urgent, what is needed, what is wanted, what is expected, there is the big difficulty of the power of continuity, the forces of continuity, the things that happen now. That currency and incumbency have power and they have stickiness in them. And one has to sort of see how to reduce that bit of stickability, as it were, and that stickiness. My final observation is, and I made this point on Sunday when we had one of the side meetings, in terms of advocacy, trying to influence policymakers, because like many things, men played a big role in it for many years. They've kind of brought a masculine element to it, and we then pretend that advocacy is about intellect and logic, and it's about clever people working out big arguments to win a particular point. I so do not agree with that. I tend to ask people, I'd say, in your life, who are the most persuasive to you? Who are the ones who are able to make you change and do things? The answer is never my professor or my boss. It's always my partner, my wife, my mother, my sister, my brother. But one category, and that is true, but perhaps the one category of human beings who are the most successful in influencing change and advocacy are babies. And you know what with babies? They don't even bother to talk to us. They never, I haven't seen it yet, they never marshal a comprehensive argument to put to us as to why we should change. yet every time they win. I want to know what they know that I don't know, so that I use it because they're winning. Innocence. Now, neurologists have been working on this and say, what is it that babies know that I don't know? Because I want to use it. And they're suggesting certain things, and I'll mention 2 or 3 of these things. One is simplicity. Apparently, I'm no neurosurgeon or neuroscientist, but apparently, our brains are wired to deal with simplicity. So what clever people need to do is they look at complex issues, let them reduce it to simple things for us. Then we advocate on it. So, Michelle, let it be simple. Simplicity. If you believe the scientists, simplicity works. Babies, they do simplicity. They tend to have 2 strategies. They scream or they smile. It's simple. It works. The second one is what's called perceived self-interest. The one you need to convince, it does not even have to be real. They just need to perceive that this is also in their interest. And babies, for some reason, have been able to convince parents that it is in the interest of the parent to feed the baby. Well, they're successful. So we perceive that it is in our interest as parents to feed the baby. So the baby is winning again. The other one is confidence. You know, now you know who my subject is, the one we're studying, it's babies. Are they confident or are they not confident? And the way you know it is this. Some of the few times that babies fail is when they're using one of their strategies, that is to cry. Yeah? So when they begin to, sometimes they don't know whether to cry or not to cry. So when you catch them in that moment of lack of confidence, when they don't know whether it's to cry or smile, you dismiss them. You ignore them. Because they're not serious on the matter. They lack confidence. But when they scream outrageously, they're confident on that matter, they get us. Finally, is empathy. The sort of to feel it almost from the side of the other. I've been hearing, and I think it is true, there's a lot of movement. I think Ephraim said it was from debate to dialogue to understanding to convergence. So there's a lot of genuine empathy between civil society of different colors and government of different colors. So if we can, it's a difficult one, but if we can find it to show that there's common interest, that we empathize, we know the difficulties they face, we might just perhaps be able to move a thing or two. Thank you very much.
Thank you very